Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., the International Chairman of the POCC, otherwise known as POCC, or the Prisoners of Conscience Committee, which is a revolutionary organization that was literally birthed from behind enemy lines. In other words, come up out of the concentration camps, what many people refer to as the prisons. We have chapters throughout the world. We look at such organizations as the Black Panther Party as a prototype or an example of following his footsteps. Being that we use the philosophical tool of dialectical materialism, we recognize that nothing stays exactly the same and that things are constantly evolving. The Black Panther Party suffered a military defeat. However, ideologically they won. In other words, we know that the federal government implemented an onslaught, an attack on this organization ranged from every tactic but not limited to such situations as which we define as the massacre on Monroe, went down December 4th of 1969 when U.S. government in cold blood assassinated Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Assassinations of such forces as Lil Bobby Hutton. In fact, right as we speak, this is April 6th. Marks the date which they assassinated 17-year-old Lil Bobby Hutton. Framing and kidnapping so many forces and forcing other comrades into exile. So the Black Panther Party represented one of the most courageous, one of the most revolutionary organizations in North America, and some of the baddest brothers and sisters to come up against the state, and an organization that literally turned the communities into classrooms and provided a vehicle, a venue in which people can fight on their own terms. An organization that addressed not only the race question but as well as the class question. So we see that as an example in that spirit. This is the POCC attempts to, we do say it's a tough act to follow. We try our best to carry on that legacy. We study and assess, and similar to that, the Black Panther Party had the ability to take the various teachings of force, ranging from that of Frantz Fanon, teachers Chairman Mao Zedong, and we do Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, even utilitarianism. We study these different forces objectively, and we can make them applicable to our situation. And I want to stress that too, because that's a unique position to take. A lot of forces say, "Well, I can see how the struggles in China or struggles, in the 1800s somewhere, how can it be applicable to your situation?" But again, the politics transcends geographical lines, generational lines, or the gender lines. So we take these, we study very objectively and take and see how we, how can we apply it to our present situation. We define ourselves as internationalists at this stage in the game, because the deal is that our position, our politics, we are affected by, by different policies and tactics, whether it be the embargo on Cuba, whether it be the U.S. setting up antagonistic situations in Iraq, or as we speak, even their plans for Iran throughout the world. And it's important that, again, that we be able to draw the correlation to these attacks, planned attacks and present attacks this government's laying down, and draw a correlation, where resistance is happening against U.S. imperialism, and whatever shapes or forms it may be. As we speak right now, we recognize we're in a serious stage of the game, which we define as neo-colonialism. And to see this as a global struggle, and recognize the U.S. imperialism is the big kahuna of capitalism. In other words, this is the shot caller, and whatever directive they call for, the effects can be seen directly, indirectly, whether it be in Pakistan or whether it be in Iraq. You can tie the tentacles back to U.S. imperialism, and our position is that the only logical response is that we have an international response, because we're dealing with a shot caller that's able to, when they make a call, it affects everything from gas prices in California to oil prices in Iraq. Must heighten the level of consciousness of the people to be clear that when they're locked up, it's not a growing prison industrial complex. These forces are held captive inside the concentration camps. We must heighten the level of consciousness so people can be very clear that it is not, as opposed to a bond, there are ransoms, as opposed to law with former U.S. presidents such as Richard Milhouse Nixon referred to as campaign for law and order. These are, you know what I'm saying, these are direct, in other words, or euphemisms for strike and attack, you know what I'm saying, the black and brown communities and other oppressive communities. I mean, it's our job to call these war calls, and that's what they are, you know what I'm saying, and they may put out a law for different, only particular artists to be heard, whether it be hip hop or other venues. We must, you know, so we must call it for what it is. These are, you know, these are propaganda bombs, or the sending of Pied Pipers in our communities. These are war moves, everything from, you know, various TV shows. We can go back into the 50s. We must try to correlation to the importance that they, whether it be Lucille Ball shows. This sends a strategic message, as a propaganda piece to people in Guatemala, that if I dress like Ricky, I told Ricky Ricardo, Lucille Ball, I could quote unquote make it in America. As well as today, whether it be different artists such as Slave Z or Lil Slave, you know, so these are the strategic move that they put these artists up to send a message to our colonized, captive counterparts across the world that everything is okay in America, to help report an image that is what Malcolm said, that America's democracy is an hypocrisy. So these are strategic war moves they do by having, you know what I'm saying, different artists. And as I said, the state in practice takes a position as, let me draw a correlation with courageous Commandant Che Guevara says that the role of the propagandist can be as important as that of the guerrilla. And the state does recognize that. In theory, they would say, no, this is just music, this is just entertainment, this is just a song, this is just a law. This has nothing to do with politics, but the reality is politics is war. And that's what it is. We must call the question. It is. We up front on our position. We say we service the people. We want to turn the communities into the classroom. We say free Aaron Patterson, free Mumia Abu Jamal. In fact, we say what's our call, free them all. And we say, man, please check out our myspace.com/Chairman Fred Part _2. Support the campaign for our Minister of Defense, Aaron Patterson, as well as all political prisoners, as well as the people in general. You know what I'm saying? And let's draw the lines between the victims and the victimizer. And you know what the Sandinistas say in Latin America, the will of the people is greater than the man's technology. Well, my last words, I like to say always to the people, free them all, to the pigs, fuck them all.